How I found out I have PCOS, my real story, real life story. Before I know I had PCOS, I thought my body was just being stubborn. My period was missing, my body was changing, and I kept telling myself maybe it's stress, but I was wrong. If you are watching this video and you ever felt confused about your body, this video is for you. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Vida, and today I'm starting a 7-day PCOS series where I'll be sharing my personal experience, what PCOS is, and how it affects women. This is day 1, and I'm starting with my story because I know someone watching needs to hear this. Before I was diagnosed, I thought everything was normal. I believed periods come and go. I believe weight changes happens. And I believe pimples are just pimples. I didn't think anything was wrong. Sometimes my period would delay for weeks, sometimes months. People around me would say, "Don't worry, it will come." So I waited. Then my body started acting differently. My period became very irregular. My weight started changing without explanation. I noticed changes in my skin. Emotionally, I didn't feel like myself. I felt confused. I felt frustrated. And sometimes I felt alone. I kept asking myself questions. Am I doing something wrong? Is my body broken? Why does everyone else seem fine? I didn't talk much about it because I didn't even understand what was happening to me. One day, I decided to stop guessing. I went to the hospital. They asked me questions. I did some tests and some scans, and they said a word I had never really paid attention to: PCOS. When I heard PCOS, I was confused. I was scared. I didn't fully understand it. I had syndrome and my heart dropped. I started thinking about my future, my health, and my womanhood. Then I learned that PCOS is a hormonal condition. It affects how the ovaries work. It can affect periods, weight, skin, and emotions. I also learned something very important, that I am not alone. Millions of women have PCOS. At first, I was afraid, but later I chose to learn instead of fear. So, PCOS is not a death sentence. PCOS is not a curse. PCOS is something you learn to manage. That understanding changed everything for me. Before my diagnosis, I honestly thought PCOS was something very serious or even scary. I thought it only affected women who couldn't get pregnant. I thought it meant something was completely wrong with my body. But later, I learned that PCOS is common and manageable. I had many questions in my head. Will my period ever be normal? Is this my fault? Will people judge me? These questions stayed with me for a long time. So now, let's talk about what PCOS means. PCOS is a hormonal condition. Hormones are like messengers in the body. So when they are not balanced, the body reacts in different ways. That is why PCOS looks different for every woman. Many women live with PCOS for years without knowing. That's because the signs are often ignored or normalized. Late periods, mood changes, like I said, weight changes, you become fat. Sometimes even the slim ones are also affected. we are told it's stress or lifestyle, but sometimes it's more than that. Look at the acne. It's more than that. So some women struggle with acne. Yes. Some also struggle with weight, and others struggle with periods. So every woman has their own symptoms and signs. It varies. That is why comparison can be very dangerous. Emotionally, the diagnosis affected me more than I expected. I felt fear. I felt sadness, but I also felt relief because finally I had an answer. And the answer brings clarity. So PCOS taught me to listen to my body instead of fighting it, to slow down, to care more, and to stop blaming myself for things I didn't understand. Why I'm sharing this online? Talking about PCOS online isn't easy, but silence helps no one. I'm sharing my story to make someone feel seen, and it's worth it. That is why this series exists. If you are recently diagnosed with PCOS, take a breath. You don't need to know everything today. You are allowed to learn slowly. You are allowed to ask questions. I'm doing this 7 days series because I know someone is confused like I was. Someone is scared. Someone thinks they are alone. If my story helps even one person, then this series is worth it. So tomorrow is day 2. I'll be talking about the signs and symptoms of PCOS, the ones many women ignore. You don't want to miss it. So like I said, tomorrow we dive into the signs and symptoms of PCOS. I know some are obvious, others are easy to miss, so don't miss it. I would love to know if you've noticed similar changes in your body. Comment below and let's talk about it.